Hello everyone, I'm Nikki and my channel is dedicated to everything having to do with books. In particular, I really like doing book reviews and today's review is going to be on Falter by Haven Cage. So I wasn't planning on doing a review on this book, but the more I thought about why I didn't like it, the more I felt like I had to do the review. Most of the time when I don't like a book, the reason is because there's a lot that happens without anything really happening. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of plot points, but there's not a lot of depth to them. In one book that I read recently, the girl meets a guy, they fall in love, her parents die so she moves away, and yada yada yada. That happened in like the first 2 chapters, so there wasn't enough detail or description for me to actually care about these characters, meaning that I didn't really care what happened to them. It was too succinct for me to get invested. Falter has pretty much the opposite problem. It's detail overload for the most part. There's one scene that was basically a step-by-step of the main character washing windows and then starting to daydream about some guy she just met. We all know what washing windows entails, so there's absolutely no reason to talk about getting the stuff from underneath the podium, spraying the windows with Windex, wiping them with the rag, blah 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 blah. In this kind of instance, short and sweet is definitely your friend. The main point of that part of the book was that the main character was daydreaming about a guy. So the whole exposition on the windows was really unnecessary and didn't make a difference to the story. In this particular scene, it would have been more beneficial for the author to just say that the main character started daydreaming while she was washing the windows at the restaurant. You get the same imagery without all the extra description. Unfortunately, this over-detailed writing style went on through the entire book, especially in the first half before anything actually starts happening. Weird things are going on for the main character, Nevaeh, so we know that something big is coming, but it took until chapter 9 for us to get to that point. All of this extra exposition made the story drag, so by the time action happens, I was really forcing myself to finish the book out of pure stubbornness. And one issue with all this extensive description was that the wrong details were added into the story. Early on, for example, Nevaeh takes a blue ribbon and immediately afterwards she gets chills down her back. She focuses on that ribbon, so I'm thinking, you know, it's going to be important. It's going to symbolize something. Something's going to happen with this ribbon. Nope. She mentions it one other time when she's tying in her hair, so at that point it's just part of her physical description. And then it's never ever mentioned again. So if it's not important, why do you draw so much attention to it and make me think that it is? And there were a few instances where you think something's very important at the beginning of the story, and then at the end, during all of the action stuff in the main plot line, it becomes almost contradictory. Nevaeh finds out that not only are angels and demons real, but she's also part of a race of people that have special gifts, and they have to choose which side of this war they're going to be on. Early in the story, when Nevaeh starts developing her powers, she starts getting these headaches and visions and other crap happening to her as the demons are trying to force her into choosing hell. She thinks she's going crazy, but she's lived on the streets for so long that she's kind of just determined to wait it out and hope it goes away. However, her dad, her new boss, and a new friend of hers all insist that she goes to the hospital and gets it checked out. Later on, however, we find out that all 3 of these characters knew what was happening to her, and they knew that the hospital wasn't able to do anything to help her. So that whole scene was just a big waste of time because it turns out to be moot. Like, it didn't matter to the story at all. It felt to me that the author just threw in a bunch of stuff to make the story sound good, but didn't go back to edit stuff out that didn't fit anymore. So the last thing that I want to talk about is the ending. Falter ended on a cliffhanger, which was both good and bad. It was good because it needed to end at that point. It was a really good stopping point, but it was bad because there was no type of closure for the rest of the action in the book. So here's my thoughts on cliffhangers. They need to be bittersweet. There needs to be some kind of resolution for the current storyline, and the cliffhanger sets the stage for the next chapter or the next installment in the series. In Falter, the characters literally lay out a to-do list of stuff that they need to fix in order to defeat the demons and help Nevaeh, but they don't do any of it. The ending did set up nicely for the next book, but nothing else was resolved, so it felt almost unfinished. Personally, I think that Rick Riordan does the best cliffhanger endings. In all of his series, Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, Magnus Chase, all of them have the characters going on some quest throughout the book, and all of the chapters and plot lines lead up to this bigger picture quest. Normally, the characters are going to achieve their mission, but it's going to end with some kind of action or dialogue or clue. It's going to open the door to the next installment. The Mark of Athena is like the ultimate example of this, and I could probably do an entire video just on that ending. This formula of closing out one book and finishing it completely and then leading into the next one and making the next one seem that'll be bigger and scarier and there's more to lose than what we just read. It makes the reader really excited and really impatient to read the next one. This cliffhanger for Falter made me kind of curious about what's going to happen to Nevaeh, but I didn't have any sense of closure. I don't care enough to get the next book. It is what it is, and I'm just not going to take the time to read number 2, So that's it for today. Those are my thoughts on Falter by Haven Cage. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight, and I hope you liked this review. If so, you can follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All the links are going to be listed below in the description. And I post new videos on Mondays, so don't forget to subscribe and ring the little bell down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye!